am I?
And then when you
Hey guys, it is Mimi abroad, and let's get into we're taking a trip to Chichén Itzá today on the audio bus from Mérida, Mexico. Chichén Itzá is right here in the Yucatán Peninsula, and it's one of the 7 world wonders, or new 7 world wonders. So let's get ready to head there, so buckle up, because it is definitely a magical place, but we'll get into more of that as we head there. All right, let's go. All right, it is Wednesday, so it is field trip day. As you know, we do field trips on Wednesday. If not, now you know Wednesday is field trip day, and we are going to Chichén Itzá today. It is about 5:30 a.m. and we need to get out of here, so we're trying to order an Uber XL. Uber XL is not really liking us at the time, so we may have to order 2 small cars. But we need to get to this bus station, so we're gonna have to make something happen soon. All right, see you there. No, we're not getting the very back. So we have made it. We are on the bus, and we are getting ready to head to Chichén Itzá. We are on the audio bus. So there are sockets. It's kind of like the Greyhound. If you ever rode the Greyhound, River's not too happy because we're sitting in the front. We'd rather be sitting in the back, but hey, we're bored and we're about to take this ride. So let's go to Chichén Itzá. So for the 5 of us, the bus cost us $69.82 USD, 1,370 in pesos. So we got to Chichén Itzá and it's time to buy tickets. So at the first window, you're going to buy your adult passes, like right here where you see these windows. But on the other side of the counter, that's where you go if you have children to pay for their tickets or pick up their tickets. If you have a GoPro like myself and you're vlogging, you cannot use it unless you remove any external mics or lighting. No lighting, no mics are allowed in Chichén Itzá, and you must pay a fee to use your camera. So I had to pay an additional 65 pesos to bring my camera in, or you have to lock it up in a locker. And so I was not comfortable doing that. So I just went ahead and I paid the 60 or 70 pesos, whatever it was, so that I could bring the camera in. Now, once you pay, you walk down a walkway lined with vendors, and they are going to be calling you, asking you to come buy things. And so, of course, because we had kiddos, we immediately were, persuaded by our children to purchase them something, and they wanted the Jaguar whistles, which is what River's blowing at the beginning of the video. So we paid $10 for Jaguar whistles, and we got 2 of them, so the kids would not complain. Now, when you're coming to Chichén Itzá, things to note that you definitely need to bring. The top 3 things you need to bring. You need to bring cash, and when I say cash, I mean Mexican pesos. Bring plenty of pesos. And you need to bring the good sunscreen. I mean the very, very good sunscreen, because there is no shade. When I say no shade, I mean 90% of Chichén Itzá is not shaded. The only place you find shade is once you're here closer to the temples. There are vendors also over to the right side, and there are trees there where you can find a little shade, but you also have to deal with the vendors telling you they have good deals and calling you. So if you're somebody who does not like to say no, or does not like to be begged to buy things, then this may not be a site for you to visit, because it was an overwhelming amount of vendors. And what I'll say about that is it made me feel like I was at a flea market with Mayan ruins in the middle. Now, that in no way does that take away from the fact that this place is simply amazing. Because just look at the temple here. It is beautiful. But, when you're enjoying spaces like this, sometimes you do just want to be able to enjoy yourself without someone saying, hey, come here. I have the best price. I can give you this. Only 20 pesos. Only 100 pesos. And we heard that a lot. But anyway, off of that soapbox, let's move on. So you can book a tour guide, and there will be people out front asking. We did not do that because the kids do not like to stand still and hear any of the fun facts or information. So it would have been a waste of our money and a waste of time. So I'll give you a little history. Let's talk about why is Chichén Itzá even named by UNESCO World Heritage Site as one of the new 7 wonders of the world back in 2007? Because the site was a major hub for Maya civilization between 600 AD and 1200 AD, and what they built here will blow your mind. The most famous structure, El Castillo, also known as the Temple of Kukulkan, I always mess it up, so I apologize, a giant step pyramid that's perfectly aligned with the sun during the spring and fall equinoxes. On those days, the shadow of the sun creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid. Like, what? And so we had a few people that we know that did come and take that in for this spring equinox this year. We just were not able to make it. So if that's something you can put on your list to do, I would definitely recommend it because I heard it is simply amazing. Another thing to note, you cannot climb any of the structures here at Chichén Itzá like you can when you're at Uxmal or Ixmal. So just a heads up for that. So this site, while there is dirt, if you have limited mobility, it's not going to be a huge deal like it would be if you were at Uxmal, because it's pretty flat to walk, other than, of course, you're walking on, as you can see, just dirt and grass. But back to El Castillo. Did you know that if you stand in front of El Castillo and you clap your hands, you'll hear a bizarre echo that sounds like a chirping bird? So when you see all the people around the front of the pyramid, that's what they're doing. They're clapping because they want to hear that bird call back to them. And so it's really neat. It does happen. I was not able, again, to capture the sound because it was just too many people. So, and River immediately started saying he was bored. Outside of that, there's a massive ball court on the site, and it's the largest one in all of the Mesoamerica. So back in the day, the stakes were very high. Some say the losers were sacrificed. Others say it was the winners. Either way, I just wouldn't have played the game because I don't want to be sacrificed, but it was what was happening back then. Chichén Itzá means at the mouth of the well of the Itzá, a reference to the sacred cenote where the Maya made offerings and sometimes human sacrifices to the gods. The Maya were incredible astronomers. El Castillo has 365 steps, one for each day of the year. Now tell me, that's not genius. Now, after exploring, of course, you're going to find something else to do, especially if you take the bus here, because our return bus was not until 5 p.m. There was not any earlier options for us. And so we had to make the most of the day, but it was, like I said, hot. And the kids were starting to complain. So we decided that we were going to just throw a cenote adventure in there. And we went to Cenote Tsukán. Now, the Cenote Tsukán is just 5 minutes away. And on site, there are buses that are going there frequently. So you can just hop on the bus. Bus will take you there. The cenote we went to, we had to take a cab. And the cab was 250 pesos each way and could hold 4 people. So we ended up having to take 2 cabs. The catch with that is you do need to arrange for them to come back and pick you up because there are no cabs at that cenote that are just sitting there, and there are no buses going there. So when you get in there, just tell the driver, hey, can you come back and get us at whatever time you want to be back? So we had them pick us up at 4, and they were there waiting with smiles. Now, I bet you're wondering, how long did it take us to get to Chichén Itzá on the bus from Mérida? If I haven't already said it, it took 1 hour and 45 minutes, about 2 hours. And because you're on the audio bus, you did get to pick your seats when you purchased your tickets. So that was great because we knew we had seats for this long ride. And as you can see, River was not happy with our seat selection, but he got over it and he went to sleep because it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So for your kiddos, bring some tablets or games or coloring books or something for them to do so that they can be entertained, because it is just, if they're up, it could seem like a very long ride. But on to the next thing. If you're wondering where the next closest wonder of the world is, guess where it is? It's the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Hey, I just wanted to put that out there. So if you're in Mexico and you don't plan on going to Brazil and you want to see a seven wonder or one of the seven world wonders, then here it is, right here, Chichén Itzá. So pro tip, there is a snack bar on site, but I would recommend packing yourself some snacks and some lunch, because it's not a lot of options, especially if you have picky eaters like myself. So I typically always pack my kids' food so that I know they're going to be fed, and then I'm not spending money on food that they're not going to eat. But the other thing is to get there early, especially if you're going now when it's hot. I recommend not going until it's like the winter here, so you don't have to worry about being beat down by the sun. So maybe going like December through February would be an ideal time, because even in March, we got there at 8 a.m. and we started sweating and we were hot because, again, 90% is not shaded, and you see the beauty of it. I mean, the sun is beautiful, the grounds are beautiful, but it's hot. And so we began to perspire and to lose energy. And so we only spent about 2 hours here before we headed over to Cenote Tsukán. So if you want to check that out so you can pair that with your trip when you're in Chichén Itzá, definitely look at that video. It's here on the channel. I'll link it in the link below as the video to watch. But if you've been to Chichén Itzá or you plan on going, drop a comment below. Let me know, what was your favorite part? Did you do a cenote? Would you do it again? Is it your favorite Mayan ruins, or do you like somewhere else better? In my opinion, Chichén Itzá was okay. It was not my favorite of the Mayan ruins, but I'm going to do another video on that, just because I'm always looking for friendly, inclusive travel for my child that is on the spectrum, to make sure that he also enjoys what we're doing out here. But if you're going to head to a cenote like we did, just make sure you get back in time to catch your bus. As soon as we got back from the cenote, it did decide to pour down raining, but our bus was on time. We hopped on the bus and we watched The Jungle Book in Espanol as we rode back to Mérida. So as always, thank you for hanging out with us. This is Mimi Abroad with our infectious travel diseases. Please subscribe, like, comment, share this with everyone you know if you like this type of content and you're looking for inclusive family travel for your family if you have children on the spectrum like myself. And until next time, this is Mimi saying adios, peace, hasta luego. Baby, keep it simple, you too bossy. Girl, we go way back. Can't treat the love like a payback. Working on the trust, so I get that. Nothing come close to my baby.